Hey team, I've got 9 questions for you about your practice and a program that's going to help you answer yes or green light, all 9 of them. Okay, so we're going to run through this. Let me share my screen real quick. You should be able to see that. Perfect. Okay, so the 3-piece program, we're going to go through this. It's people, patients, and profits. Give me 1 second. We're going to delve into what the 9 questions are, but in the program, we'll go over the details and stuff on that in just a minute. Now, the 9 questions, these are super important. You look up at the top right of each box, and there is like a little traffic light, right? Red, yellow, green. When you look at the question, when we ask this, you're going to give yourself an assessment. You're going to give yourself a grade, red, yellow, or green. Okay, so who's your A player? This means that our perfect fit is defined and everybody knows exactly who they are. Like everybody. If I randomly walked up to somebody in your office and said, hey, who's the next hire? They should be able to describe the type of person, maybe not the position, right? But the type of person that you guys are looking for that's going to mesh and fit with your team. And the thing about that that's so critical is whether we're talking front desk or biller or PT or assistant or what have you, the difference between an A player and a B player on that question alone is like worth $20,000 a year. Okay, it's crazy. We can spell it out later, but it's somebody who produces versus somebody who isn't, somebody who closes deals versus somebody isn't. That is a huge, huge difference. So give yourself red, yellow, or green. All right. We're going to do the same thing with each of the other questions. What do A players want? We know what the 6 critical things are that A players are looking for in their next job, and we feature those in our process. Okay, so we use them in our process, and we make sure that we're delivering them to the A players. And keeping A players around, as we just said, is worth about 20 grand, right? If you have to let somebody, or somebody leaves and you have to replace them, that's going to cost you even more, right? Question number 3, nurturing success. So we have exactly what success looks like in every position documented and shared. In other words, we have a 1-pager that shows a therapist what success in the role looks like. We have a 1-pager that shows a front desk person what success in the role looks like. The billing person, the aide, assistant, you name it, they have a 1-page, managers too, you, the CEO, the founder, same thing. They have a 1-page explanation of the critical components of your job that define success. And we have one-on-one meetings to support every player's success. That's something when you started your business, you became the coach of a team. All right. So you have to have a process. One-on-one meetings is the best process for nurturing and fostering success and making sure you're keeping an eye on things. So give yourself a red, yellow, or green on that. This is the people part, right? So this is the 9 Qs, the 9 questions. The 3 Ps are people, patients, and profits. People, your people part is worth around $60,000. Okay, if we get through the program and just you get those nailed down as green instead of red or yellow, that's your potential payoff. All right, so what sets you apart? Whoops, we're gonna go back. We know what makes us unique in the eyes of our favorite patients. Okay, we know, and we have it articulated, we have it documented, and we use it, right? So that's the next question. We have a repeatable process or processes to share what sets us apart with prospective new patients. So when you're out of network with a certain insurance, or they have, there's somebody down the street who can get them in, why? Why should they choose you? You know what that is. You're able to articulate it. It's documented. Your people know it. Think of it this way. If a patient case, a new patient is only worth $1,000 to you, okay, that's $100 a visit at 10 visits, or 80 at 12 or whatever, right? Whatever your mix is, 145 at 12 or 14 visits, it's worth a lot more. If you only got 2 more people a month to sign up, that would be worth $24,000. Okay, so now closing the deals. This question, our front desk and therapists have a written process to gain buy-in from our favorite patients. So not just the conversation, but what's the sequence? Do we do it the same way? When we hire another front desk person, are we going to get the same results? Mark yourself red, yellow, or green on that. That's worth another couple patients a month, or 24 grand, right? So that patient part, we're looking at least $48,000 for your practice. Now we're going to get into getting paid. Okay. Question number 7. RPTs have a process to build all the right codes at every visit, right? The full time and the codes. Talk to any biller. I was just on a call this morning with somebody who owns a building company, and he was just lamenting this one, right? That they see it all the time. The therapists, the staff therapists are not billing their full time. They're not billing all the units, and they're not billing the right units, and it's costing you money. So if you can fix that, that could be $30,000 or more. Making a profit, question number 8. We know our cost per visit and revenue per visit. We know both our targets, where we want to be, and what reality is right now. So we know what the gap is. If you have those down and you look at those every month, you can rate yourself green. If you have a process where you're working toward it, hey, even better. But if you don't know what those two, really those 4 numbers are, cost per visit, reality and target, revenue per visit, reality and target, if you don't know what those are, then you're not green yet. Okay, you might know part of it, might be yellow. If you don't have any of them, you're red. All right. So number 9, by the way, that's worth like 15 to 50,000, depending on what you're doing there. Just closing that gap, it could be worth even more. But knowing your numbers, okay. Number 9 is knowing your numbers, and this is super critical. You know, this is where I geek out a little bit. But we have a dashboard, okay, something that you look at on a regular basis, not every day. Okay, you don't stare at the dashboard in your car when you're driving down the highway, right? But you check it periodically. So we have a dashboard that tracks all 7 of our most critical metrics in a PT private practice. And we know how to use those numbers. So from those 7 metrics, right, I'll give you an example, like units is one of the numbers, visits is another number. From that, you can calculate units per visit. If you have your revenue, you can calculate unit value. You can do a lot with these 7 base numbers and figure out the ratios and the other things that you can then, that cost per visit, right? Obviously that's cost, expenses per visit, right? Revenue per visit. I'm giving you lots of hints on what the 7 numbers are. But when you have those down and you look at them and you actually gather them together each month, you get a really good read on how you're doing, and you have the opportunity to improve them. So that's actually worth way more than $15,000, but we're going to be super conservative here. So we've got our people at 60, we've got our patients at 48, and we've got our profits at another 60. So what we're looking at here is you stand to get, by turning all 9 of these items green, right? You stand to get $168,000 or more in revenue. And this isn't an exaggeration, guys. I've seen this. We see this over and over and over. You have a wait list, you get busier, more people want to come. It even balloons and snowballs from there, because you're going to be hiring more therapists very likely. And then you get consistency. That's the other big problem in a lot of small businesses is, when we hire a new person, are they going to be trained adequately? Are they going to have robust enough systems? As we grow and add 5 more people, will we have consistency in our operations so that we know what our cash flow is going to be? We know what our forecasts are going to be. We know how many new patients we need to fill the schedules, all that kind of stuff. That's going to go into consistency. So what are we going to do in the program? Okay, $168,000 or more, you know, 20,000 if you just get one of them right, or 15, or even 5, right? But you're going to be in a private Facebook group. This is not an online course, okay? I'm going against online courses now because only about 3 to 5% of people finish them. And that's not doing you a service. So this is a live program with 18 weekly calls. We're going to spend 2 sessions per each one of those 9 Qs. You're going to get templates and processes and stuff that you can use and apply in your business, real tangible stuff, both from the 20 plus years that I owned and ran a practice of multiple locations with, you know, lots of different people in those positions, as well as the last 8 years of doing coaching and working with practice owners. There's a lot of stuff here that's going to really streamline and help you to get to the next level. That's 18 weekly calls. If you can't make one of them, don't stress about it. They'll all be recorded, and you'll get chances in the Facebook group to ask questions. You can ask questions in the group. Will be in there daily. This is going to be a small group. Okay, this is the first launch of this specific design and program and this style. It's going to be a small group, so you're going to get my personal attention a lot more so than what a lot of, you know, kind of the big groups and stuff give you, because I have a super vested interest in you succeeding. Okay, this first cohort going through this program, you're going to be the poster children for success in the program. Okay, you're going to be the people who are telling the success stories so that the next cohort goes through, gets in, and you know, also achieves success. But I'm not going to let you fail. All right. If you're willing to put in the work and you're willing to implement the things, I will ensure that you get it done. Okay. On top of that, there is a 30-day money back guarantee. All right. So I will give you whatever money you've spent so far to date in the program, plus $10, so that, like, if in the first 30 days, let's say you don't like me, okay, and that happens. I mean, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, right? You don't like me, or the content isn't working, or you've done it before and it's lame. You're not, it's not going to move the needle for you, or something happens in your life and you can't continue to commit to it, whatever. It's a no questions asked guarantee. In the first 30 days, if you opt out, I will pay your money back plus $10 so that you can go get a pint of beer with your best buddy or get a fancy coffee or whatever, and bitch about the program. Tell them how terrible I was. Tell them how awful it was. But hey, you got your money back, and this coffee's free. This beer's free. All right. So all that for 27 payments of $100 a week. Now that means you're going to have access to the program for way past the 18 weeks. So you can go back, you can, teach your key people, you can use this stuff ongoing. That's the other thing about all the things that you're going to learn. When you go through and you're able to answer green to all 9 of these, you'll be able to do that forevermore. You'll have the processes. What we're doing here is a lot like what you do with your patients. It's not an ongoing monthly fee to continue to pay for marketing. You're going to get the flywheel going, and it's going to keep working for you. All right. So that, and by the way, I even made up another document just in case you need to show this to your business partner or your spouse or, SO or somebody that you need their approval to make the investment. And by the way, it's an investment. And I know everybody says that, but the whole point is every expense in your business, every dollar going out should be an investment, meaning it should be getting you something back in return. Okay. And that's real. Make sure that if you're spending money in your business, it's getting you a return on that investment. So you can go to bit.ly/the3Ps program, and that's going to give you all 9 of those questions again, a bit more detail, the guarantee, all of it. And you just send me back, make a comment. I'm in. If you're in, DM me. You don't have to comment publicly, just DM me. Again, it's going to be a small group. We're going to bring it together. I want to launch on April 15th. I know that's not a lot of time. Lead time, but you can start blocking those times out. It'll be 1 p.m. on Mondays, Pacific time, so that's 4 p.m. Eastern. If you're in Hawaii, nice, but that's 11 or 10, depending on whatever the daylight savings is going on at the time. Okay, so let me know, tell me you're in, and let's get you going, get you started.